Thank you, Bruce. Yes, I think we can say that it is arguably the most anticipated match of the opening day. Wonderful crowds here on day one here at Melbourne Park. Last year on this day, 36,501 fans flocked to see the tennis right throughout this marvellous complex, and I wouldn't be at all surprised, Fitzy, if that is broken today, especially with a match like this coming up.
Look, I think Jelena will be really supported heavily here. I mean, the crowd, this will pack out for sure. There's the odd spare seat at the moment, but it is filling up very quickly. There's lineups outside after the quick finish of the previous match, so she'll get a wonderful support, I feel sure.
She's obviously going to be suffering a few nerves early on already. She's out on the court. Razzano is still seated under the umbrella preparing herself. What are the feelings going through Jelena's mind at the moment? For the first time back here at Melbourne Park since a dramatic exit in 2001. No father, he's on a vineyard in Serbia and Montenegro growing brandy and whiskey. What's she feeling?
Well, she's making her own decisions, which is a great thing. And, you know, look, I'm sure she'll be nervous. She's just trying to break back. She's come to Australia in the hope that it can help her career resurrect itself. And, look, I feel she'll be very appreciative. Haven't spoken to her about it, but you can't help but think that she'd be very appreciative to have all of this support, to be welcomed back with open arms. And look, there'll be nerves because she hasn't had a ton of success of late, and it's been a few years really since she's been at her best. So look, it's a long road back, but she knows she's capable. I
think also we saw yesterday in Talking Tennis when she was chatting with Bruce, she has grown into a fine young lady now, 22 years of age. She was really a baby when she left Australia 5 years ago. And this is the start of the long road back up against Virginie Razzano.
Jelena still is only 22 years of age, and look at that ranking. It's quite staggering, those numbers, but she's been as high as 4. She's been a semi-finalist at Wimbledon, and this is the start of her climb back, so there'll be butterflies for sure. Didn't play in any of the majors last year. So that in itself would create a bit of a rise in your heart rate. She's a great striker of the ball, though, and the intensity that was mentioned yesterday on Talking Tennis, that'll be evident right from the start.
And here is her opponent. She, Fitzy, is ranked 54 in the world at the moment. She's only played in one final, and that was at Tashkent a couple of years ago. But she had a far busier year last year than her opponent, Jelena Dokic. She played in some 45 matches. She won 20 and she lost 25. Her best result was at Amelia Island, where she took a couple of big scalps, including our very own Alicia Molik. This will be a very good test for the 22-year-old from Nîmes in France. The crowd, no doubt, will be supporting Jelena Dokic, so she's going to have to battle the crowd as well. It's a capacity crowd here in Margaret Court. Great to see our umpire, who's not in the chair as yet, is Roland Herfel. And I've got to say, Fitzy, I don't think there has been a match like this more anticipated by so many around the country. This on opening day, and they're all supporting someone who is ranked 370 in the world. That is Jelena Dokic, and we'll be back with the match right after this. And so the moment of truth has almost arrived for Jelena Dokic, who comes into this event after winning a wild card. She accounted for Sydney's Monique Adamczak in the wild card playoff final. That really was the first step in revitalising her career. We're just about set. Roland Herfel makes his way into the chair. Still plenty of cloud cover above Margaret Court, but a fine day here in Melbourne. Temperature of around 28-29 degrees, and a special moment for Jelena, who's had to go through so much as a teenager to finally make her own decisions, make her way back to Australia and force her way into our national title.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a first round match between, to the right of the umpire's chair, from France, Virginie Razzano.
Virginie Razzano just being introduced. As I mentioned, her best result probably would have been at Amelia Island. Listen to this applause for Jelena. Welcome home. Yes, Razzano defeated Alicia Molik. She also had success over Vera Zvonareva. So they're 2 good wins. And as far as Grand Slams are concerned, she's made it to the 3rd round at Roland Garros. Her 5th Australian Open, so she's been a regular visitor here. And the best result here actually was also a 3rd round effort in 2001. Different story for Jelena, isn't it? Playing in just her 4th Australian Open. Reached the 3rd round in '99. The 1st round went out in 2000 and out again in the 1st round the following year, and then out of the country the next year.
Well, she won't be in quite the shape either that we remembered. She's been working hard on her fitness the last few months, but this is the start of the long road, and you know, she's been running though probably an hour a day. I think Bruce McAvaney was in the gym.
No, she was in the gym at 6. He got in there considerably.
6:30.
I think Bruce was in there at about 7:15.
For the last quarter of an hour of her run. Yeah, but
so you can't buy match fitness, can you?
No, you can't. Look. She'll be able to go the distance, no trouble. But the nerves and the lack of match fitness might affect her slightly. But look, I don't know. Sometimes adrenaline can carry you over the line when you get to a situation like this. As soon as the crowd got behind her there in the announcement, you know that. I mean, that makes the adrenaline rise immediately. So, look, she'll do well, I feel sure, but it is a big day for her.
Look, Razzano's playing the waiting game again. She lets Jelena just sit at the baseline. Finally, she makes her way out onto the court. It will be Razzano to take up serve.
First set, Virginie Razzano to serve.
In the opening game of the 1st set.
Service motion here of Razzano is very front on. It looks like that would certainly affect the power on particularly both serves, 1st and 2nd. It's very open early, doesn't she? She opens up to the court, chest on. Too early. Wonder who won that point. There's a little bit of bias out here on Margaret Court Arena at the moment. That's a good sign. Dokic here is stepping in close to the baseline, going for the winner.
Second serve.
Oh, that second serve. And Jelena really trying to put pressure on. Good move, stepping inside, trying to put some pressure on that slower second ball. Well, it's the right, I think it's the right tactic. Really look threatening on that second ball because it looks light. It looks like it gets a little shaky, particularly on a 30-all point or a break point. Well played. Well, the backhand down the line halfway through that point really opened the court up there for Jelena, and maybe didn't quite go close enough to the lines as she could have, but put that down to opening game jitters. Nevertheless, a very constructive point and trying to press the opposition.
Advantage, Razzano. Game, Razzano.
And she holds, so Razzano takes the opening game of the first set. Virginie Razzano certainly does have an affiliation with Australia, having won the juniors here back in 1999. But now she's facing the serve for the first time of Jelena Dokic. I think emotion is going to play a major part for a number of players here this year, Fitzy. We're watching one. I think we're going to also bracket Kim Clijsters and Martina Hingis.
Yeah, good serving here. Quite penetrating that first serve. But Razzano not afraid to step in and have a crack at the first return. I'm sure she feels that's a strength. I think the right shot there from Jelena. Had her opponent moving in the other direction, tried to wrong foot her. That ball, if it had cleared the net, probably would have been a winner. And again, that forehand also would have been a cold winner, just catching the tape. So she can just adjust the height, just a few centimetres, she'll be in business.
So after looking relatively comfortable on serve, all of a sudden, a couple of errors, one double fault. She's now looking at a break.
Well, the intention is still there, isn't it? The intention to be aggressive, to hit the ball flatly into the corners. That's the way we remember Jelena playing.
And she's got to stick to that pattern, doesn't she?
Well, I think so. But doing it under match conditions after not experiencing it a lot in recent times is difficult. See, with a bit of confidence, a few more matches, that ball, or the area to hit that ball into, would start to look a lot larger. At the moment, it looks like a small area for her, and as well as she hit that ball, sometimes it's a game of centimetres. So striking the ball well, just needs to cut the errors down slightly.
Deuce.
Jelena really starting to get some power in that first serve now, up around the 170 kilometres an hour.
Look how far inside the baseline she was there. Much easier to knock the ball off from that position.
Again, she could see the opening, and again, it's just a matter of adjusting the old radar and getting it right. It'll come. But she's having a battle in this opening service game.
Advantage, Dokic.
Oh, wonderful. Well, the last forehand was the one she'd been looking for earlier in the game as well. Finally found her range there. And that was a pretty impressive game, all in all. She's made a few unforced errors, Sandy. 10, in fact, so far. But if she finds a range, it'll be look out.
Perhaps more than impressive, it was an important game for her. I mean, to be able to hold serve in your opening service game, that will certainly help settle her down. And as you say, if she can just tweak the radar a little. But here's Razzano, serving at 1-all.
Pretty tough situation here for Razzano too. She's under pressure here. She knows the quality of her opposition. She knows the crowd is quite biased.
Again, Dokic puts the pressure on the second serve.
And I think the trend of the match is already there. You've got the playmaker who is going to hit for the lines and try to finish points in Dokic, and Razzano will be trying to be the brick wall down the other end. If she can keep the ball in often enough and make Jelena play, that would be her game plan. Try and draw some more of those unforced errors. So
Razzano.
That'll quick service game. That's what Razzano wants. She leads 2-1 in the first set. Interesting. And let's remember it was Julia Schroff who beat Jelena in the first round at Auckland just a few weeks ago. Fine swinging serve for Jelena Dokic. Her first ace. Yep.
Jelena not sure about that first return, and I must admit my initial reaction was that the ball was wide, but she played on and accepts the scoreline here at 15-all. They're serving well though. She's serving at about 75% first serves, and that will stand her in good stead because she serves with enough power to actually create some free points if she keeps that percentage up. Well, the unforced errors certainly creeping up.
15-1.
Not afraid to put the foot down on the accelerator though on that second serve. She really went after that. She's certainly the playmaker here though, isn't she?
Yep.
Razzano content just to keep the ball in play, let Dokic dictate one way or the other, and at the moment, well, she's been on the verge of breaking through because of the number of unforced errors from Dokic's racket. That will probably determine the outcome of this match. Yeah, good play. That's the wrong footing forehand. Smart play. It was the right choice there for Jelena. Had her opponent moving back into the middle of the court. You could see there the body weight moving the other direction, and too tough to come back.
Yes. Advantage Dokic.
And she holds and ties it up at 2-all in the first set.
White, please. 7.
Yeah, this is one of the great desperates. You're no doubt looking forward to the return of that.
You can't help yourself.
Here's Razzano. 2-all, first set.
You know, interesting to see here, though. A good player who is not at her best is what we're seeing here. She might be able to find that form even within this match, but when she's missing Jelena, it is by a fair way. It's unusual for a good player. Oh, good point. Good point. And a couple of close calls there going Razzano's way.
Very close.
So some good signs here from both players. Good competitive stuff early in this match. Jelena moving well and pretty pumped after that one. Boy, that second serve looks nervy, doesn't it? And
136 Ks.
And there's a fair chance with that open stance before she hits the ball that ball is going to fade towards the forehand. So Jelena there trying to exert some pressure, trying to move in beyond inside the baseline to take the first return. Yeah, what I meant earlier was that Dokic, as a good player, we all know she's a great hitter of the ball. She's playing more than her fair share of good points here. It's just that when a player of that standard is out of form slightly, when they miss, they tend to miss a bit further than normal, or by a bit more than normal. Boy, you'd have to suspect that this serve under pressure would be just a tiny bit shaky. Well, good serve there, first serve. It's the second serve you want to wait for on a big point, deep in a set, really exert the pressure then.
But I mean, this was only at 147, but her placement was perfect.
She's so open before contact with the ball.
But she does well to hold serve, and she has the upper hand, leading at 3-2 in the first set.
Razzano leads by 3 games to 2. First set.
Game's going with the server, and it's Dokic to serve at 2-3 in the first set.
Oh, one of Razzano's better points, a little aggression of her own there. You know, she's not going to miss much. She looks pretty darn solid from the back of the court. She'll keep the ball in play. It's a matter of how many errors Dokic will make.
And they are creeping up, Fitzy. It's 17-3.
Yeah, well, it's a major difference. The fact that she's hit a lot of winners, though, Dokic also has kept her in the match so far.
Like that.
Well, subconsciously, that's how she wants to play. You know, she gets the opening there, steps up to the baseline. There was a big gap, and well executed. Tell you what, she's serving pretty well too. The odd double, 2 in fact, but she's had an ace and quite a few unreturnable serves. So the serve doing well for her.
A far cry from the Auckland serve that really did bring her undone with something like 28 doubles. Why did we mention doubles?
Well, there's not a ton of margin for error there, and it's a very flat delivery. When she's confident, I'm sure, you know, she can hit it close to the lines, but that's the issue here at the moment in this first big match for her at the Australian Open. You know, confidence is something you just want to bottle, isn't it? But a good way to save the break point there. Courageous second serve after the double fault.
That's better. Set it up with some great depth and then that punishing forehand.
Well, I love the way she's executing the forehand when she gets the opening.
And she holds serve. Games continue to go with the server. It's 3-all in the first set.
Jelena Dokic. 3 games all.
She's got the trademark intensity still there, hasn't she? It's a big service game now for Virginie Razzano. 3-all. Have tested each other out so far. And no breaks of serve. Not to date, anyway. So, important few points coming up.
Love the paint.
It'll be interesting to see how Virginie Razzano reacts if she does get down in one of these service games. She's been holding serve, playing in front so far in this match. And now she faces just a few nerves.
Love that.
A good angle.
You could pick the nerves from the serve. She slowed that first serve right down.
Well, if Dokic can keep 4 or 5 balls in a row in during the course of a rally, she's so aggressive that eventually she's going to open up the court with either an angle or the speed will put her opponent on the back foot. 3 break points.
That's sounding more like the Bee Gees every day.
Duet. Second serve. You know that ball's going to the forehand. Dokic was waiting for it. And to her credit, you know, she knows, well, we all know she's not going to play it safely. She's absolutely going to have a crack at that second serve. 1 break point remaining.
There it is. Finally she gets the break with that second serve that limped over the net at 119 kilometres an hour. And it's Dokic leading 4 games to 3 in the first set.
We go back to Jelena Dokic, who has the break in serving.
Good first serve, Bruce.
59.
By Jelena to take the first point. And she's looking to take a stranglehold on this first set. If she can get a relatively easy service game here, get it to 5-3.
Well, a few unforced errors of her own creeping in here. The last 2 games, they've hurt Razzano. Hitting the ball very flat as well, actually, carrying the baseline there by a considerable distance. Maybe the new balls in this game might contribute to that. They probably carry a little further through the air.
Well, that's the best service game we've seen from Jelena Dokic. Following the service break, she's now 1 game away from taking the first set.
5 games to 3.
Oh, great forehand there. Beauty.
50-love.
Slight mishit from Dokic, dropping the ball, well, past mid-court, but that was a brave forehand and a well-executed one from Razzano, getting on top of that high bouncing ball. Probably the best forehand to date. Starting to find a range is Jelena now. At that tempo, with half the unforced errors, or hopefully even more than, or less than that, she's still a force to be reckoned with. Really hitting the ball beautifully off the center of the strings into the corners, creating angles.
And Dokic now 2 points from the first set.
It's amazing how some sets unfold, isn't it? I mean, it was nip and tuck the whole the first 6 games of the match. Standing in, exerting the pressure. She believes this second serve's a little bit shaky.
So there it is now, the equation for Jelena Dokic. She has 2 set points. Roland Herfel could be called in here by Jelena. He accepts the point as good. The ace is registered. 1 set point saved. Dokic still has 1. Well, that's intelligent serving.
Deuce.
2 excellent first serves to save 2 set points. And now she's been given a third. And she's done it. Jelena Dokic takes the first set, just the 1 break of serve in the set. And this crowd is saying, welcome back to Melbourne Park, Jelena. 6 games to 3.
And so look, she held herself together nicely, I think, and against a very solid, consistent opponent, and that'll give her a great heart. Virginia just leaving the court for a bathroom break, and Jelena there patiently waiting on the side of the court. Great atmosphere here. The crowd really in a festive mood.
Yes, it was amazing driving in this morning, and the crowds that were flocking here, as we mentioned, something like 36,500 here on day one yesterday, and in these warm conditions, lovely summer's day. It's certainly not oppressive, but they're out in force once again. So Jelena waits. Virginia has a bit of a habit, as we've seen in that first set, of playing a mind games. We'll wait for her, and so will Jelena, and we'll be back right after this break. Jelena Dokic serving to start this second set, and winning the first point on the second serve.
The first serve still working for her. She's got the courage of her convictions here on the serve. You know, sometimes when you're not match fit and you're not used to the nerves, the serve can be the one that breaks down a little bit, but she's doing well.
And Dokic holds to win the opening game of the second set after taking the first set 6-3. And somewhere, either here at Melbourne Park or in Australia, there is our next Fed Cup captain who could well be watching this, and Jelena would be a handy bonus. There's a long way to go yet. It's Razzano to serve. Love one, second set.
As the point builds and grows, Sandy, you know, she hits 3 or 4 close to the line. Razzano defends, but eventually comes back into the middle of the court and gets wrong-footed by Jelena, and that's a pattern. She can keep 4 in a row in. She's got a good chance. The longer the point goes, the more of the upper hand I think Dokic gets. It's the unforced error column that can be her stumbling block, but if she keeps the ball in for 4, sometimes 5 shots, generally she wins the point. Well, she was 2 more hits away from winning that one as well. Yeah, good first serve. She's got a knack of getting that first serve close to the line out there wide on the first court, does Razzano, and certainly has produced some winning points for us. Set up the easy forehand on that occasion.
And she holds. And it's interesting, her first serve percentage now is on par with that of Jelena Dokic, both serving at around 67% as far as first serves are concerned.
Certainly looking more and more comfortable on the service games is Jelena. Hasn't been broken to date. Yeah.
In fact, it was only her first service game of the match that she was really under any pressure. Taken to deuce on several occasions. But as you can see by this point, she's just looking a little more settled, a little more at home.
Well, I think for Razzano to compete with her here, she has to do that more often. Take a risk herself earlier in the point, because she's defended well and kept the ball in play, but not after 4 or 5 big, heavy forehands and backhands into the corners.
And she holds. It's 2-1. Dokic's way in the second set.
Game Dokic. Dokic leads.
So we're watching right now. Razzano to serve, but Dokic to set up as we rejoin Sandy.
Yes, that's interesting. Sugiyama beaten. So Martinez Granados will play the winner of this match in the second round. The longer this match goes, Fitzy, would you favour Razzano?
Well,
I'm thinking of match fitness. I'm thinking of the unforced errors.
Possibly, you know, the match fitness. It's a pretty warm day. It is a bit of humidity too, so a little bit draining. But, you know, the points are not overly long, you know, and you know, when you're an aggressive player like Dokic, you know, quite often you can finish the points in a reasonably short period of time, so that shouldn't be a factor.
Something like that.
Yeah. 40-15. 40-30.
Virginie Razzano here will be quite desperate to finish this game off after leading 40 love. Now she has some pressure on her though, because at 40 love you're cruising, and when you start to lose a couple there back to back, the pressure builds a little bit and you start to feel like you've got something to lose. So back to deuce here. She hasn't broken Dokic's serve to date. Doesn't want to go down 3-1 in this second set, Razzano.
Advantage, Razzano.
Good solid defence there from Razzano, counter-punching well. Kept her returns very deep.
Two games off.
So she gets out of trouble, Razzano, for a 2-all here. And Jelena Dokic not far away there. She was on the verge of breaking through. So back to the grindstone. You know, when you hit the ball flat like Dokic, quite often you get it deep into the court too, which is a difficult ball to deal with for the opposition. Oh, on the line, a beautiful shot there. Yeah, when it's coming, the trajectory of the ball is flat and low, and if it comes deep, it's not the type of ball a lot of modern players are used to dealing with.
Yep.
You know, you can certainly see, can't you, with a lot of tennis and that bit of extra fitness and match fitness, in fact, Jelena can improve very quickly.
When we're looking at someone who has number 4 in the wall outside, there's certainly plenty of room for improvement, but she's on the line. 3-2, second set. Pretty good in the set. Razzano serving, trying to level. 3 more down a set. Well, here's the period that Jelena needs to keep the ball in play, keep the pressure on Razzano. Big moment in the match, leading a set in 3-2. I think it was the right ball to go for. She had her opponent moving back into the centre of the court. She's used that wrong footing forehand a lot so far in this match. She felt confident, just overplayed it wide. Got a good hit on the ball. Oh, yeah, that's good aggression from Razzano, and I think she needs to step that up if she's going to survive here. To either player in this match, so Razzano trying to get onto the front foot. She knows that if she just stays back and defends, well, we might see expecting more of the same in terms of the scoreline, so she's, to her credit, trying to move up in the court. Razzano holds. She levels at 3-all in the second set. Yes, it's one of the new programs we're looking forward to seeing, especially the couple that ventured out onto the land and weren't sure what colour the cows were, whether they were male or female. It's interesting. You're an expert, aren't you, in that area? One thing's for certain, you don't go on the car. When you are male or female. Moves up into the court. You know, she's really served well in this match too. Only 3 double faults. Look, there's not a lot of margin for error in her serve, so she's been impressive. She's only served 3 doubles, had a lot of free points on the serve. And generally, it's set up those ground strokes where she can move inside the court. Wide in it. Let that ball drop a little low. Well, that one hurts her. First double fault, and then the break point for Razzano to get her first break of the match. And she's given it. She's been given it with 2 successive double faults. And Razzano now with the break leads 4-3, second set. Welcome back to Margaret Court Arena. If you've just joined us, Jelena Dokic took the first set 6-3, but Virginie Razzano has bounced back in the second. She's got a break. She's serving with new balls and looking for a 5-3 lead.
Virginie Razzano, I'm sure, will be looking to get every first serve possible in here as she serves for the second set to try and tie it up at 1 set all.
She starts with a favourite serve. That's the one I think there that Jelena has to cover a little bit more. Logic just says that with an open stance like Razzano has, that ball will fade to the forehand, and that's her favourite first serve.
Yep.
Certainly throwing caution to the wind.
15-all.
Aggressive return. Slight miss hit that fell in on the line. Has to remain positive here, does Dokic. I mean, she's still well within striking distance of getting back into this set. 30-all.
Edge, first service.
Oh, well played, Razzano.
And that brings up set point. Well, the 22-year-old from Nîmes.
Yeah, she set that last shot up well. First forehand down the line and then stepped away, opened up the court, used the angle.
Well, first double fault. Second, in fact.
Yes.
But it's been a long time coming because that second serve, there's just absolutely nothing on it.
Well, that has to be nerves, surely.
Of course.
And I can't help thinking that it's a little bit technical. You know, the technique is not quite right. She's very front on. Opens up, and the more nervous she gets, maybe, the more she does it. So, trying to almost run the nerves out of her body here, trying to save this break point now.
Even then, she slowed the first serve down to 141. But it's not over yet. The second set, it's 5-all as Dokic breaks back.
Well, that's why, Sandy, you've got to stay positive. You know, even if you're a break down, you know that your opposition is going to have a bit of trouble, or you imagine she is, serving it out.
Bit of trouble.
And just at the ultimate point there, on the set point, serves a double, backs it up with another one. The first two double faults of the match, back to back, and Dokic then only having to play one good point to break. I tell you, the drop volley was a good one. She had to compose herself there and take the speed off the ball. She did it well.
5-all.
So now, mentally, you think, well, I've got 2 chances. The third set's there if I need it. But now I've given myself a chance to finish this in 2. It has to have a very positive mental effect.
Whereas for Razzano, it's another step back.
The opposite. Before you know it, when you've lost your serve there, the emotions that go along with that, and then you play a couple of loose points and find yourself serving to stay in the match.
This is out in the mouth stuff. A real cat and mouse point, wasn't it?
Well, it's probably not the tactic that Jelena uses too often. You know, she tried to roll a few balls deep. And not a bad move. You know, sometimes you give the opposition something else to look at. Have the ball bouncing high. You might draw a short ball. Good variety. The crowd thought those balls were going out, but little did they know.
Well, she'll take it. It's the old genuine, look, I'm really sorry.
But not really.
Very good service game, and how it's turned around the second set, she leads 6-5. So Virginie Razzano now finding herself serving to stay in the match. Down a set and 5-6.
Razzano is the fact that you've got a rejuvenated opponent who thought she was out of the second set. She had her head dropped 3 games ago. She's given a lifeline. She's playing better. Her confidence is up. It's a whole different ball game.
Net, first set.
The confidence starting to rise here for Dokic. Well, probably the right shot, I think. Just overplayed. Tiny bit of anxiety from Jelena Dokic. Razzano will breathe a sigh of relief. Boy, defended well, especially there. That was a difficult shot. She got herself back into the point and turned it around.
And that brings up match point for Jelena Dokic.
called out.
And Roland says no. Let's take it one step at a time.
Well, interesting point, wasn't it? First return. Razzano thought a ball had been long. I think that one did catch the line, but the final one, I've got a feeling was out, but it was awfully close, and no one heard the call. So it is back to Juice.
Yep.
In the psychological battles of sport, you have to put that behind you very quickly if you're Jelena Dokic.
She gets another chance. Another chance to close it out in 2 sets. Conchita Martinez Granados of Spain awaits the winner of this match.
Well, there's a lot of tension for both players here. One trying to survive and the other desperately trying to get into the second round, had the opportunities.
There's a little bit in the crowd too.
Have to be strong enough mentally if you're Dokic here to put this behind you. Just play each point on its merits. You know, I think sometimes you're psychologically better off having been down the game point, winning that one, getting back to Juice, feeling like you're on a bit of a high, whereas if you've had the set and match point, the Juice point seems more difficult.
Yep.
Too good. She's fighting hard here as Virginie Razzano.
Well, she did get as high as 35 in the world early last year. She's desperate for a tie-break. Jelena's desperate for 2 more points.
Youth. Advantage. Razzano.
Well, the balls she's missed in this game, Dokic, have been into the net. Now, whether, you know, that's probably due to a little bit of tightness, but certainly needs to raise her sights. He hasn't missed too many over the baseline. Ball been under the tape.
Razzano.
We've got a tie-break. because Razzano holds serve and levels at 6-all after the 46th unforced error
Second set tiebreak.
from Jelena Dokic. 46-13 from Virginie Razzano. And yet, interestingly enough, Dokic has won 81 points in total, Razzano 71. So the tiebreaker will decide the second set. Gutsy move from Razzano, and it was there for Jelena.
Well, you mentioned it right at the start here about match practice, match fitness, and winning under pressure. And it's not easy to do. If it's not in the recent memory bank, it's very difficult. And that's what Jelena's going through right now, that trying to remember what it's like to finish matches off, be confident enough on the big points right at the end, the business end of the match. So she's played awfully well so far in this match, Dokic, but now just starting to lose a bit of belief. Just to step up here. Yeah.
She gets it back.
Well, sometimes, you know, when you're in the pressure cooker, the moment yourself, you're the one out there, it doesn't register that maybe when you are missing, they're all going into the net, you know. Your mind's just thinking, get the ball into play. And when you miss one, okay, you deal with the negativities of that, but do you realise you're hitting most of the balls too low? Just raise the sights.
You'll have to talk up, Fitzy. She can't hear you.
Yeah, well, the net's the obstacle, isn't it? There's more margin for error in the trajectory of the Razzano ground strokes at the moment.
Second service.
Very important second serve that was.
And Dokic ties it up. All square as they change ends in the tiebreak. It is 3 points apiece. After Dokic took the first set, 6-3. Time now for a whiskers purple patch, and it came from Jelena Dokic in this second set. Her forehand has been her strength.
Well, it has. You know, I think in the last 5 minutes, her trajectory has been a little bit low. She's found the net a little bit, but certainly it's her weapon, and potentially, you know, if she can just raise her sights, maybe 10 centimetres or so on the forehand. It might win the match for her here. She's hit a lot of winners from it today.
3 points apiece. One more serve to come from Virginia.
No. 4-3, Razzano.
Good second serve seemed to jam Razzano a little there. She was struggling for room, pushed it wide, so it is 4 points apiece.
Net, first service.
Well, as good as the second serve can be, the margin for error isn't great. It's low. It's
A criminal act, though, in a tiebreaker.
well, a low trajectory on it. It's certainly an issue when it gets tight, and the sixth double fault there was huge. So 5-4 Razzano serving, mini break in hand.
Oh, she's got it back in style as Jelena Dokic.
5-0.
Well, the defensive lob was smart. Razzano doesn't have a great deal of power above shoulder height there. Couldn't put the smash away, and the backhand was sitting there waiting for Dokic to hit it. So an opportunity gone begging, and set point now to Virginie Razzano of France.
On the Dokic serve. It's a fascinating situation. I mean, there is not one vacant spot in this stand. That's including the aisles virtually as well.
You get the feeling there'll be a standing ovation if the set goes the way of Dokic here. Both players tense, the crowd trying to urge her on here.
6-3 was the first set. That was to Dokic. We're in the tie-break now. It's 6 points apiece, and it's the Dokic serve to come.
Fine line, isn't it? Your natural instinct is to attack, to go for the winner, but with the lack of numbers of wins you've got under your belt coming into this match, it's hard to force yourself to actually play it like you used to.
Set point again to Razzano. And Virginie Razzano wins the tiebreaker. She takes the second set and ties it up at 1 set apiece.
6 love in 6 years, and Svetlana Peronkova, 18 years of age, playing in her first Grand Slam ever, has taken Venus to a 3rd set, and that's just where we're going now, Sandy. That took 1 hour, that second set, and had us all on the edge of our seats.
Yes, it's amazing, Bruce. Day one usually does produce some extraordinary results, and today it looks as though there's no exception. So Fitzy will have a look at some highlights of that second set, which was won in the tiebreaker by Razzano, who incidentally has left the court again. But while we're looking at them, I just want to get your views of the attitude now of Jelena Dokic going into a deciding set.
Yeah, well, Jelena certainly needs to stay positive. Look, she's hitting her fair share of winners and good shots, but when the crunch came there and she didn't get the call the way she wanted it in that on that match point, she just started hitting the ball too flat and low, and I'm sure it was because she was tight. It's a normal feeling. It's natural for competitors to feel that way a little bit when things are going tight and they haven't had a lot of matches. So that was very normal, but she's got to raise it again early in this 3rd set.
Yes, it was a set that ebbed and flowed, but she'll be pondering the 3rd set, which we will pick up when we return. So Razzano once again returns to the court after taking the tiebreaker in what is turning out to be an intriguing battle here on Margaret Court on this opening day of the Australian Open.
Well, this is what can turn a career around. If you can come through now, take the disappointment on the chin, fight back, and still win in 3 sets. It might even be better for her ongoing than closing it out in 2. But she's got to get back her thoughts, remain positive, and get a good start, preferably in this 3rd set.
It's a real test of character. So here we go. This is the deciding set. Razzano to serve.
Right on the line from Dokic.
Second set. Get on.
I think Chad in the first 2 sets was particularly when she made Razzano moves, hit the ball with angle to take her opponent out of court, get her out of her comfort zone. That was winning her a lot of points early.
30.
Good play.
40 30.
It's a way to turn defense into attack very quickly.
Razzano holds an important hold too. In the deciding set, she leads 1 love.
to a fourth set there. Back to Margaret Court.
Love the thing.